NASCAR is cooking in Kansas this weekend. How can we take advantage? We laid out our best bets and our DFS tiers tonight here on the Backroad.
It's a non-points race, but it is a short race. Checkered flag. That's all this race
What's up, everyone? This is the Backroad. It's In Between Media's fantasy NASCAR and NASCAR betting show. Elliot Hicks and Seth Woolcock back with you. Our special guest tonight is RoryPicks from the Layin podcast, also a frequent guest over on the NASCAR betting preview show that you all know and love. Rory, it's good to have you back here again tonight.
Oh, I was happy when Seth texted me last night. I was like, oh man, let me make sure old lady ain't got no plans or whatever. I was like, hell yeah, I'm down. I'm always down to talk NASCAR, you know. And I love coming on with you guys. I mean, y'all's show's a little bit different than everybody else's, and I like it. I mean, that's what we need is variance. You know, everybody doesn't need the same thing, and I like what y'all got going on. So both of you's good cappers at NASCAR, and we're gonna make some dough this weekend. It's Kansas. I can feel it. I mean, I love this track.
The vibes are hitting, boys. You're right, man. Rory's coming off hitting the MTJ. We hit the MTJ. We called him out live on the show last week. So vibes are really high overall here this week, Elliot. And Kansas is one of those unique ones that I think we can take advantage of some books sleeping and some other players in DFS sleeping. So I'm excited to get to it. I think you are as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hey, I got the green shirt on for a reason, trying to make some more green here week in, week out. Let's take a look back at the good week that we had in the rear view. So we had the Monday matinee at Dover, which was won by Martin Truex Jr., the old GOAT, who we started off I was very hot on Truex at the beginning of the year. Finally pays off with another regular season win. And Seth, we had some other bets that hit pretty well also.
Yeah, man. It was a really fun day to be on Ross and MTJ from the get-go. We hit both the top fives there, hit the outright. And we also took that little special on Caesars that they threw out, Truex, Blaney, or Chase to win, which felt good with Blaney in the mix. So everything came to fruition other than that Justin Haley Group C bet. So we walked away very profitable. Rory, how was it for you and the Layin Coin boys?
It wasn't bad at all. I mean, I got on some Truex live once I seen him recover from back there in the back, and I was like, might as well jump on him and hope him and Hamlin, one of them, quit making pit stop mistakes and not have any bad luck. And sure enough, he got up there. I mean, I had Ross 20-1 live. I liked Ross coming in. I just figured with him starting in the back a little bit, I was like, maybe I'll just sit back. I know I can at least get this number, or maybe it goes to 12, somewhere around there, 10 before I jump on it. But at least I'm confident on it because I figured Ross would be good. And Larson, I had him pre-race, and I just can't get on him this year at the right time. I mean, he wins at Richmond and Martinsville, and I've had him at Phoenix, had him at Las Vegas, had him at California, and had him last week at places I would have to say he probably had the fastest car. So, hey, you keep playing him at the weeks that you think he's going to be fast, and he's going to eventually start paying off. I mean, in my opinion, he has been probably the fastest car, just been in some bad luck. So yeah, it's going to turn. It goes both ways as the season goes. But we put out 3 winners on the NASCAR gambling show last week on Wednesday.
There we go.
3-1. Only one we didn't get right was Mi Amigo, which that was kind of, a sprinkle 40-1 there because he's good here. He just got caught up in some bullshit. So that happens. And we had Hamlin top 5. Was glad he recovered enough to
Yeah,
get
well,
it back in
heartbreak there for a minute. Yeah.
Man, I thought we were getting ready to lose that. And then I found a group matchup. I don't know what I was doing. I must have glanced through them like quickly earlier in the week or something and not been paying attention. I get on Betfred and I'm scrolling down. So I text Worm and I was like, what do you think about this? And he was like, oh my God, that's a good find. Tailing. I was like, yeah, I know it is. And I was like, Brad Keselowski plus 255 against Tyler Reddick and two bums. So it's basically
Okay.
Brad Keselowski plus 255 against Tyler Reddick. And he had it. And of course, we can't stay green. Caution.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's one of the big takeaways from this last week is we know it's always going to come down to possibly some end of the race cautions. Pit road penalties, bad stops have killed people like Hamlin, Kyle Busch. He was running out front early in that race and then got that pit road speeding penalty again and headed towards the back. So that was one of my takeaways. Like this week, I want to bet Denny, but I can't get after it just because the pit crew's so bad. The number is so small right now. And I'm with you on Kyle Larson. We've been fortunate enough to be on the right side of those two outrights that he cashed for us.
That's
this year.
awesome.
But it has been an every other week thing, and we've been burned in DFS. So interesting to see how it all worked out here. Elliot, any final thoughts as we shut the door on Dover and MTJ? He's heating up despite some very choice words back and forth from the crew chief.
Yeah, that was really interesting to hear. They were fire at each other on the radio, but end of the day, those can be some of the best matchups. I remember back in the day, Dale Jr. with the Uris, they could get really fiery with each other, but they still won a lot of races. And I don't think this is the last time we see the 19 in victory lane.
I feel like that was a different situation, though, with the Uris and Earnhardt.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were blood relatives.
I truly believe that Martin Truex in the back of his mind is like, I went from one of the top 3 crew chiefs in the damn garage area to a hack.
Yeah,
the dude makes the most stupid ass decisions. Like it is, it's amazing. He finally made one good decision: 2 tires, get him out front. Knowing, I guess they paid attention to the tire wear, coming through the race. So at least he made one call finally right. That on there, just like, what the hell was that? I what? Used tires? Like, I might would have drove a little different and tried to get a top 5 out of this instead of a damn win if I'd have known when I dive bomb it down into the corner coming into one, I'm not going to have any grip.
It has been a turbulent season for the number 19 car, no doubt about it. We're glad to cash in here. We'll move forward without the number 19 in the lineup.
Wonder if Coop must have seen me out cutting today. Y'all know Coop lives in Lynchburg and Forest.
Okay. I did not know that.
He might have seen me earlier today. Yeah, I'm not sitting on the lawnmower no more. But, hey, the lawnmower seat's probably more comfortable than this thing I'm sitting in. We got that new age lawnmower with the nice squishy suspension.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like action. Like a Cadillac of the lawnmowers.
I love it. Guys, let's go ahead. Let's move off of our victory lap last week at Dover, and let's go ahead and roll to the plains of Kansas here with Horizon Forecast.
Hey, Michael, it was only 20% chance of rain. I think we got all 20.
So we are headed to Kansas next. It's one of those typical cookie cutter 1.5 mile tracks. Some of that trouble with passing the drivers have been talking about this year could be easy to see here. I remember some races in the past with similar packages, not quite the same as we run with the next gen where passing was kind of difficult. So kind of like it is most weeks, whoever's going to qualify up front is going to be important to look at, Seth.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with the way the stages are laid out. A little wonky this week. 80, 82, 102 is what that's going to be. Hopefully we can get some practice and qualifying in. It's been hard. We've made it through despite, everything we've been handed this season. And at the end of the day, you got to qualify up towards the front of this one if you want to be a competitor. 12 of the last 14 winners have come from the top 12 of the grid. That's via Eric Smith on Twitter, and Yoder taking 5 of the last 7 as well. So those are 2 trends I think are very important. I am looking back at Kansas 1 and 2 last year. I am also, I know it's another unique track, but I am going to be looking at Dover, Las Vegas, Auto Club, those other mile and a half stats to put towards this week. Other than that, track history and current standings, Rory, is there anything else you're considering when kind of trying to cap this race down in Kansas?
Yeah, I mean, I'm using some of Kansas from last year. I feel like early on this season, though, the one thing I will say is it's going to be a whole lot more tire wear here than it was at Las Vegas. So,
Okay.
yeah, I know Hendrick's going to be fast, and they're not going to be a bad group to have. I mean, I'm high on Hendrick this week. The thing that scares me is if the whole third stage goes green and Denny Hamlin, anybody.
Yep.
I feel like Hamlin, unless he speeds on pit road, for some reason, I just feel more comfortable if that race stayed green and I had Denny versus I got to worry about cautions. But if we got cautions at the end, Hendrick's going to come out front. I mean, they make some fast stops and they don't mess up a whole lot. So, I mean, I think if you get your card right and have a good mixture of JGR and, of course, 2311, I mean, if you play them right, I mean, Bubba, I feel more comfortable right now with Bubba just outright. I mean, if you're going to take him outright.
I didn't love the number. I didn't love the number all that much the way he's been running this year, but I can tell you what, he was pretty damn incredible. 1,600 for Bubba Wallace. That's criminal to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't fool with it until live. And I don't know. It's one of those things where Reddick, I know Reddick's good here. I mean, I feel like he's going to be good, but I'm really skeptic on the speed of them actually beating Hendrick or JGR right now at this point. I mean, Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, I expect they're going to run good here. I expect Gibbs is probably going to be at least a top 15 car. And then once you jump on over to the Hendrick side, I mean, we got Larson. Byron's going to be awesome short run. Then he's not going to adjust on the car, and then they're going to fall back through the field. Like, I mean, that's just what he's been doing. Unless for some reason they get a caution fest going on and he just stays up there, then you're going to be having to watch out. I think Chase Elliott this week, I think the leg is probably – he's getting more comfortable in the car, and I think his leg will probably be good to go this week. This shouldn't be – I mean, we're just on the gas and off the gas. I mean, it's not Dover with the G's that it pulls. It's not,
Correct, right.
It's not Martinsville where you're shifting this, that. I mean, it was amazing. He got 11th place finish at Martinsville. I thought it was pretty good. So,
yeah.
We got Albert in the chat. What's up, Albert? Good to see you tonight, man. He's a usual over on the fantasy football side of things at IBT. I hope you enjoy a little NASCAR tonight here, Albert. Elliot, any final thoughts as we head towards Kansas, or should we just jump right into our tire tiers?
Yeah, I think the best place for me to put the thoughts I have is moving right into the tire tiers. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the DraftKings prices here pretty much line up with what we were just talking about. You got Hendrick drivers up at the top with Larson and Byron the top salaries. Then you have Hamlin, Reddick, Christopher Bell, Martin Truex Jr., your top 6, all featuring at 10,000 or above on DraftKings. Rory, who are you taking to lead it off here?
I think a guy that we can grab at an excellent price to throw up there in the tier 1 that you can build a pretty damn good lineup I expect to be good this week is KFB.
Wow, okay. Was not expecting a little KFB love early.
Now, if he happened to pole it, I guess you're trying to sit there and you're not going to get much passing value, but you're going to get a lot of fast laps too. And you're going to get a car that's dominant. And he likes this place. He's won here. He knows how to get around Kansas. I mean, the only thing missing is the what did they call this race? The Bush what was it? The
It's a Bushy
McBushy.
McBush race.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes.
the only thing. If that was
Yeah.
happening, oh man, we're gonna slam that whenever it's named that. So no, I mean that 8 car was freaking fast last year, and now you got a guy running it that I think may not burn the tire off of it and bust it. I mean, his driving style is just a little bit different than Reddick's,
Yeah.
and he's a veteran. Watch out! I'm taking him pole this week. I think it's pretty good odds.
Okay. Yeah, don't forget Tyler Reddick was really, really fast here in both races, but did exactly what Rory said and didn't come away with great finishes because of it. Elliot, let's move on here. Who else are you looking at in the driver A tier?
I had the pole odds here. I think Rowdy was toward the top of it. Here we go. Qualifying odds. Kyle Busch on Barstool plus 1,300. That's not a bad number if you're looking to pull him.
Oh my goodness, I got him at 20.
Really?
Oh, all right.
I wonder if it's moved on Bet365.
Yeah, well, while you look at that, I'm going to take Reddick here. I mean, I'm higher on 2311 this week than I probably ever have been. I mean, they just ran so well at Kansas last year. And a guy like Reddick is just it's the perfect combo. 2311 swept here last year. Reddick runs so well at these tracks. And on the Reddick this year, he's been hot and cold, but on the tracks that we expect him to run really well, he has run really, really well. Salary is $10,400 on DraftKings, and he will be worth every single penny in that 45.
14 now.
Okay. So a little closer to what I thought, but getting him at 20 then was a pretty...
Damn, I didn't mean to move him.
I
just kidding.
Little trendsetter down there with Rory. I'm going to go with Chris Bell here. I'm going to stick with the Toyotas. And listen, man, Chris Bell, we don't have a huge sample size so far from him at his career in Kansas. However, he does have 6 starts. 4 of those have resulted in top 10 finishes for the number 20 car. I'm expecting him to be very fast this weekend again. I'll talk a little bit more about him later, but he's someone I'll be locking into my DraftKings lineups once again this week.
I like Chris Bell. I love Chris Bell every week. I mean, he can pass. He can come through the field. They seem to adjust well too. If you ever noticed, Bell may not be the fastest thing out there. He's a lot like Chase Elliott. Every so often, just be straggling around, and then the next thing you know, they didn't hit this daggone thing on the pit stop, the adjustment, and here he comes, and you can get him at a good number, if you jump on it right. But in my opinion, Christopher Bell is the driver at Joe Gibbs Racing now, number 1. I mean, it's hard to argue. 20-something-year-old, talented and fearless. Once you get a little bit older, you gain a little bit of fear. So I consider his pit crew not to mess up a whole lot neither out of the whole bunch.
Right. I think that's key there. 100%. Rory, who else do you like? Are you going to keep the trend of Toyota going, or are you switching up manufacturer on us?
Well, I mean, if we don't put Kyle Larson up in the driver A, I mean...
I knew you were going to have to come in and do it.
I mean, he has dominator potential. And, yeah, the price is high, but it could pay off for you, especially if it's one of those weeks where you might have a wild ending. Kansas sometimes throws a wild ending up. I mean, Mark brought this to my attention, because he's a homer and everything. But, Matt DiBenedetto finished in second there a couple of years back, I think. I mean, yeah, anything can happen. So you got to throw Kyle Larson up there at the top.
Okay. All right. Elliot, where are you going here? We got a couple Chevys. We got a couple Toyotas. What's rounding out driver A tier?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel good about the Chevys, and I feel bad for my guy Alex Bowman missing this one. He's run so well at Kansas the last few years. I'd be white hot on him if he was running.
Yeah.
But, hey, it'll be another Hendrick car that runs up front. It won't be my guy in the 48. I got to go with the other 2311 guy, Bubba Wallace. I'm going to put him in the 8.
Oh, what?
He's at 9,000. And here, obviously, he ran well here. He won here in the 45 last year. Bubba Wallace, perhaps more than any other driver in the garage, runs off of just pure self-confidence or self-hatred one way or the other. Bubba Wallace is going to come into this race knowing what the team did last year, knowing what he did here last year. He's going to think 100% in his mind, I am going to win this mother effing race. and I think he could very well go out and do it.
Hey, I like that. I don't mind that at all because honestly, Bubba Wallace probably isn't going to qualify too well, in my
No,
opinion.
Fair
yeah,
point.
And
he's gonna be chalky as hell, though.
I
Chalky as hell.
know he's gonna have a good ass long run car. I promise you. I think so. Now the question is, like, I would play him in a different lineup somewhere, maybe something like that if I was playing multiples. I don't know if I was just playing one lineup, I would have him. Especially if Seth's over here saying he's going to be high owned. Probably definitely not then. I mean, we probably can scoop up something else. But I think he could be valuable if you're a multi, lineup player.
Mm-hmm.
I also will say there aren't many days when you go to one of the more favorable books and you find Bubba Wallace minus 200 for a top 10. That shows how fast the books think he is going to be here on Sunday. So I don't mind the call at all, Elliot. I'm going to go ahead. I got to throw him up in this top tier. It's Martin Truex Jr., guys. We were hot on him last week. He paid off for us in DraftKings, in Fantrax, and in gambling. And you're getting him at $10,000. And Martin Truex is now the #1 scorer in DraftKings points this season. So I'm betting on that consistency. I don't think he's going to win this race. I think you're looking at a 5th to 9th place finish with Martin Truex Jr. But at that 10,000 price tag, I'm willing to ride for that price of admission. I'm going to play this week. Rory, back to you here. You can either round out driver A's or start driver B tier.
I mean, this could be a heavy option driver A week almost, depending on what you do, with your lineup. I mean, if we're gonna, I'd almost move Hamlin and Chastain up there as options. We can go with them as a B though, because I'm pretty sure we can get the A and the B fitted in there with a mixture. Those two, Ross Chastain is fast. He's been fast all year. Eventually, somebody's either going to beat his ass, reckon, or he's going to finish one of these races. It's time for him to win on a 1.5 miles. And he was good here last year until what? Something happened in the first race here. He was running up front. I just can't remember exactly. Maybe he might have had a tire issue like we were having earlier in the year. So I like both of those though in the B's.
Two top 10s in his
Denny
last
Hamlin
4 races. Two top 10s in the last 4 races for Ross. So I'm with you on backing the #1 there.
I mean, Denny Hamlin really doesn't need any explanation here at Kansas. I mean, it's just a matter of, I think he falls down into your B tier just over on pit crew.
Yeah, I agree. You can't trust it, man. He has the bad juju right now in the garage. Elliot, back to you. Let's continue with B unless you think anyone else you want to throw up there in the A's.
Well, we can throw this guy in the B, but I'd probably put him closer to an A-. William Byron in the 24. It's a high price at $10,900. When they're hot, and when they're not so much. But they could easily. It's again with Hendrick. Sometimes it's a matter of one of these cars is going to be bad fast and contend for the win. It's just a matter of which one, whose day it is, whether it's the 5, the 24, or the 9. Maybe even throw the 48 in there. Probably not with Barry though yet. But I think William Byron could be interesting there. Again, I'm fine with the B tier very beginning of it. I don't know if he quite makes the A's.
5 top 10s for William Byron in his last 6 appearances at Kansas. So it is bananas. Like, that is why you're paying $10,900 for him on DraftKings this week.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay that much because I do want to stack up on maybe a Reddick and a Truex or a Reddick and a Bell.
Right. That's why I think A- to be for him.
Yes, 100% agree with you, Elliot. I like where we're going so far tonight, gentlemen. I'm going to throw out a little bit of a wild card, someone who is continuing to rise up the DraftKings prices each and every single week, and that is the number 54 car, Tyler Gibbs, a.k.a. Ty Gibbs. Right now, he's coming into this race just being an absolute dog out there, being so consistent. And we already talked about that. We know that 2311 swept here. We know Yoder's been good, won 5 out of the last 7. However, I took apart the top 6 of the spring race and the fall race. 75% of the cars in the top 6 were Toyotas. 5 out of the top 6 in the spring, 4 out of the top 5 in the fall. I think Ty Gibbs is going to be very fast this week. Let's not forget he won here in Xfinity last season. I'm going to talk more about him in depth when we get into the betting portion of the show. But I'm all over Ty Gibbs this week. Mark it down, coming in at 7,800, the highest price he's been so far, but deservingly so.
I had to do a double take when he called him Tyler Gibbs. Obviously, that's his name. I looked it up, but I've never heard him referred to as Tyler Gibbs.
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't. Makes him sound a little more grown up. So
that's Tyler, sweet baby Jesus Gibbs.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sweet baby Jesus. Back to you, Rory. Where are you going here in the B tier?
Let's see. I have a wild one right here just because I think he's in a car more suitable to him, and that would be Josh Berry in the 48.
It's not wild at all. Not wild at all. I love it.
I mean, especially I think if Berry doesn't qualify really well, like, in the mids, I think it could pay off because I don't know. I got a funny feeling about it. My man, Big Perm, old Chris Wormy, he likes him this week too. So I'm a Josh Berry guy anyway. I love Josh. I think Josh is what NASCAR used to be. That's what I think. And he's gritty. He can pass. He races clean though. I mean, for the most part, Josh Berry, he races hard, but he races you clean.
Well, and the thing about him, not only does he race hard and clean, he also scores a shit ton of DraftKings points because he's not going to qualify that high, averaging 42 per contest here, Elliot. I love Josh Berry this week.
He's a quick learner. Like, he just jumped into this thing, and I heard him talking on XM, actually, when I got off work on the way home. And, he was talking about that. He said, we've changed. I mean, look at all the different racetracks I've been to. It's not like I've been back to one that was the same. So now we're coming to Kansas, got a little Texas in him, little mile and a half. And I feel like, old Barry, we get him on a high tire wear track. He might be worth a little top 5 sprinkle this week and sprinkled outright.
Yeah. I don't mind having a lot of lineups pivoted with Ty Gibbs and Josh Berry. Like, those are two. They're right in that same range, 7,700, 7,800. And that's why I'm trying not to play as much Larson, Hamlin, and Byron this week, so I can kind of fit more of these mid-tier guys. Elliot, anyone else here from the Hendrick camp that we should be considering for the B tier, or do you want to pivot to a different manufacturer or team?
Yeah, I mean, I guess while we're on the topic of Hendrick, we may as well throw Chase Elliott up in the B tier. We know these guys are going to run well. Josh Berry, he's going to be fun to watch still. The driver's misfortune for Hendrick has been his fortune. Clearly, he's the sub guy. We just got to wrap up Kyle Larson and William Byron in bubble wrap. Wouldn't surprise me if sometime in the summer Larson running a sprint car series, maybe he ends up with a little something and Berry gets a shot in that 5 car. Who knows? Obviously, we don't wish any misfortune on drivers. I'm just saying Josh Berry has been in good shape getting these sub roles, and it's only going to make him better. Rumor is he's signing with Kevin Harvick's management company. It just so happens opening up next year. Seems like the kind of racer Tony Stewart would love. Again, not insinuating anything there either, but that would be fun to see him get that full-time chance next year. But anyway, chasing the beats here at 9,800. That's not bad. What do you guys think about a guy like Joey Logano also for this B tier, maybe even C tier? I don't think the Fords are going to be great here, but Logano at 8,400, that feels pretty cheap for him. Obviously, he's going to be the talisman for the Penske guys. He's intriguing here. I don't know whether he's a B- in the same way that Byron's an A-.
It's so tough because I think Joey Logano's priced right at what he's going to run, probably about a 15th to 17th place car.
And my fear with him is I can actually see him laying a fast-ass lap in qualifying and going backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the 13th highest price. So, yeah.
I would prefer him in the C tier personally.
He's worth a shot in the C tier just because of his crew chief. And he can
close. And his pedigree, I mean, he's a past Kansas winner, albeit not in the next gen, obviously. But
I mean, if they make the right pit call at some point or whatever, Paul Wolf's a magician. So he's definitely worth a grab in the C tier with the other A and Bs and stuff going on. Would I play him in my only lineup? Probably not. But if I'm playing multi-entry and this and that, you got to have him in there on one of them.
Sprinkle him in, one out of every 8 or 9 lineups and take that shot,
He is the cheapest you're ever going to play him or you're ever going to get him, and he's a 3-time winner of this race. So, you could do a lot worse than Joey Logano. I like the call there, Elliot. I'm going to get weird here a little bit as well. Or no, I'm going to stay true with this pick, and then I'll get weird with the next one. I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick, guys. It's not a sexy pick at all. But I do want Kevin Harvick in some lineups, still averaging just about 37 DraftKings points per week. He had top 10 speed at some of these other intermediate tracks we've already been to this season, Las Vegas, Auto Club, and he was poking around a little bit last week at Dover as well. So I like Kevin Harvick here. I'll talk a little bit more about him in the betting portion, but I do like me a little Harv, number 4. I like that scheme we're getting this week as well, Elliot. That's a nice, cool little camo green scheme.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% sure if this site is fully up to date on the scheme.
Oh, okay, baby.
I like to think they are. I mean, I can look that up while Roy talks about his next pick here. See if we got the paint schemes. But
I like that Harvick sitting. What's his price?
Right now he is at 8,700.
Yeah, I like that in the C range just because.
Yes.
Here's the thing with Harvick.
He's in that they used to do this with Boyer. They would run like the corn cans kind of scheme.
Yes.
What are one of those like farmers? Yeah, Busch Light for the farmers this week.
The yellow car.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like blue with the fields and the corn.
Dude, all right.
That's just that they must not have had the template available, so they threw the camo.
Okay,
that's what he's running this week. Even better. You thought it was good, and it's even better.
I can't wait to get rid of these effing fishing cans and get some of the. I need the original corn cans back, not the John Deere bullshit. I need the yellow corn cans back. I'm ready for it. So I'll get on the vibe early this week, I think, Elliot.
There we go.
Well, I mean, the thing with Harvick is you have a good play regardless of whether if he qualifies good, y'all better really watch out. If that car shows up with speed, all like fast speed early on, you better watch out. Most time, he's going to be back there. He's going to be high owned. I mean, that's the thing with him.
At 8,700 too.
A lot of people are going to be on him. But I don't make a shit if he drives from 20th to 1st and wins the race. Everybody should be on it. You're just going to have to beat people in another area. I mean, that's my way with him is I never really take him pre unless at very certain tracks that I have a feeling he may qualify well. And this week, guarantee you 15th to 20th. And then by the end of the race, he'll be running up in the top 5. He'll be running the top 5 at some point in this race.
I like it. I like the bold call from you, Rory. Who else do you think could be running up front here that we should consider in our driver's C tier?
Definitely Brad K.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go with him. You love Brad K.
Well, they've gotten a whole lot better. They even gotten a whole lot better the last 10 races last year. I mean, Buescher winning Bristol. Keselowski had some good runs in there. Qualified on the pole at Homestead. That shows me they picked up some speed, And then this year, outside of Brad's been having some pit road problems. And
yes, sir.
Brad has had some really fast cars. So without the pit road mistakes, Brad's probably a lot higher in the points right now and feeling really good. But I think he has to be feeling a whole lot better of how that organization's turning around. He's doing a good job over there. He's a racer. He's old school. He knows how to clean things up, get them organized. I mean, Roush, I can just see Roush had just been the same boring ass blah blah for years.
Right.
I mean, it needed a shake up.
All right. Yeah, Rory calling a shot.
I love this Keselowski pick. He was exactly who I was going to go with next. He was talking to the media recently, put this out on Twitter, that he's looking at this in tiers, funny enough, of how he's going to take this race team, taking it from irrelevant to relevant, saying they have made that first step. Then the next step is relevant to contender, and then contender to champion. Who knows if Keselowski is still in the car when they make that step to getting back to championship level. I think they will at some point. Again, maybe Brad's the driver, maybe he isn't. We'll have to see. But I think RFK, they're really moving up the ladder. They're really doing well. And since you took Keselowski from your Rory, I guess I'll just throw Buescher here in the C. Same sort of upside, but it's 7,300 rather than 8,200.
Okay.
I like it.
I like the call there, boys. I'm going to keep the Ford train rolling here. This is going to be a very hot, it's not a sexy pick, but I'm talking myself back into Austin Cindric this week. Let's go. It's been dog shit. It's been dog shit all year, averaging just about 16.5 fantasy points coming into this week. So it's been bad. Like,
that's because he's dog shit.
Easy. Listen, you might have been better off playing Harrison Burton this season. You might have been better off playing JJ Yaley at times than this guy. But listen, he has some speed here. Last season came with it. Top 12 speed ranking at Kansas 1, 11th place finish. Top 14 speed ranking at Kansas 2, 12th place finish. So I don't think he's a top 10 car this week, but I think he's a top 15 to 20 car. And at the price tag you're getting him, 6,500, no one's playing Austin Cindric this week. I could call my grandmother. She doesn't even know who he is. I could call Rory's best friend, who's the biggest NASCAR fan in the world. He's not playing him either. No one's fucking playing him, but the Backroad fam's and we're going to cash a little bit because of it. Give me an Austin Cindric pivot play.
Okay.
Yes, sir. A little passion there. And can I also just throw the 47 up here too? I think he belongs in this conversation. Had a top 10 at Kansas last season as well. $7,000 for him. So if I'm scooping down a little bit in that 7K tier, I'm gonna roll some Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I mean, dude's averaging 35 DraftKings points still. It's been really consistent. Rory, back to you here. You can either add more to the C tier or dip down into the driver Ds for Kansas here.
I will say I don't mind that spin house play. My boy iFantasy Ryan over there, he was spitting out some knowledge on old Stenhouse, how fast he was in the second race here last year. So he's definitely worth a shot. I mean, he's got 4 top 10s this year. That's pretty damn good for him, even though one of them, maybe two's, I don't know where. I know
I think 2 of those are super speedway.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't he finish top 10 at Atlanta?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. We're gonna fall. I think Blaney's got to be in the C. If you're gonna put Joey Logano in the C, you definitely got to have Blaney because Blaney's been the faster one out of the 2 on tracks outside of super speedways. Logano's been pretty damn disappointing this year, in my opinion, speed wise.
Yeah, I was thinking Blaney even in that C- tier, honestly. I'm good with C, but we'll call him a C-, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he was surprisingly fast last week. I was kind of fading him, and I walked into that one, anyone can win out of these 3 guys, and I didn't expect Blaney to be the one kind of wheeling it for that bet there at the end. But yeah, I agree with you there. Elliot, who else do you like here in C or D?
Well, I'll crack open the D tier with a bit of a D+ here. I'm going to throw Corey LaJoie in the D tier in that 7.
Yes, sir. He was good last week.
Right. It's 14th at Dover. I mean, sometimes they're off, but sometimes they're on, and sometimes they run well enough. Top 15 finishes for this team are fucking miracles, without they're behind in a lot of ways. The other car always runs terrible. LaJoie's a good little driver. He's always dirt cheap in these lineups. At 5,600, you're going to get more value than that is here. You look at some of these comparables here, just looking at the average points. He's averaging about 33 points. And guys around the same price range are anywhere from 22, 23, 21, 19, 14, even 9 for Brennan Poole down there at the bottom. You're getting good value here on him almost every week. And sometimes, obviously, they're going to have bad runs. I think this is another week where it could pay off, though. I've put him a little too high sometimes in other races. I'm fully confident in a C-, D+ here for LaJoie to get you some value.
Last week, we didn't put him high enough, frankly. Honestly, you asked the same question. Yeah. Should we play Corey LaJoie? And I said, I think the secret's out on him because every single week, this guy is 5,500 points on DraftKings, and he comes through. So I love that. I'm also going to throw out, I guess, another little shitter that I like this week. Going back to the shit boxes with none other than the number 41 car. Ryan Preece, man, just been solid, just solid. Like, and Chris Worm said this so well earlier in the season. Like, when Ryan Preece has a very average car, he's very appealing to bet on. He's very appealing to throw in a DraftKings lineup. It's when he has these fast cars that he's out there pulling the son of a bitch that I don't want any part of him at, because then he gets all wily. He gets all crazy. It's like JoJo the circus clown, you know? He just can't keep his shit together. But I think he's going to have a solid car. So the number 41, he belongs in this tier as well.
I like that. I do. I mean, thing is with Priest, he's been pretty decent later in races this year. A lot, like I know a couple of them at least. His speed ranking picked way up in the fourth stage. I think it was at Coda and the next race, whatever the hell was after that. He had some pretty decent runs there. And then Martinsville, you know, he set some damn pole, has a rocket.
Right.
Let's
Yeah.
go to the rear of the field. I mean, I don't know. He's going to get better. He really should have been in the Cup Series all along this whole time.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it just didn't work out until he could get with Haas. I mean, I would rather have him second at Haas behind Kevin Harvick if I was playing anybody or whatever, because the other two, yeah, Briscoe can get it done at certain tracks, and that seems about it right now. And Amarillo's on retirement tour.
Yeah. Briscoe, if you played him last week, he was an anchor. He started up towards the front and just went back immediately. He was one of the biggest movers in the wrong direction early. So I think Briscoe belongs in this tier. We'll throw him there as well. 7,500. So you are getting a little bit of a value compared to recent weeks on Chase.
He
Briscoe
has the potential randomly, even on a mile and a half, whatever. I mean, he was fast shit at Charlotte last year. I mean, he ruined my damn day. I had Kyle Larson live 20-1 at the Coke 600. And then he decides to, if he would have just done that one lap later, we'd have got the caution and the checkered, and I'd have been happy, wouldn't have cared. And I'm like, dude, when are you going to quit doing this to me? I had Tyler Reddick at Bristol Dirt, and you do this to me, and you do it again to me here at Charlotte. So, I mean, I think, yeah, he's probably going to be low owned and could pay dividends.
Rory, who else do you think can play dividends here in this driver D tiers? Not quite, the bottom feeders, but guys who.
Well, you know where I'm going right here. I mean, we got one guy sitting on the board right now that's going to be top 10, and that's Mi Amigo.
Oh no, Rory!
Mi Amigo,
I can't do it.
Is going to break that bad luck streak,
It's
and
terrible.
He's going to top 10 this thing this week.
He did it last year.
Plus 150. Plus 150, top 10.
I miss me on that bullshit, but I respect the play nonetheless. Elliot, throw a couple other drivers out here in this D tier. I know that 38 belongs on this tier. He's been really solid for a very good price all season long.
Yeah, go ahead and throw the 38 and the 34 on the D tier. I had some Fs I'm going to crack up, but we can talk a little bit about front row. Not necessarily overachieving, but they're pretty decent. I see Gilliland here sort of around the same price as LaJoie at 5,400, averaging about the same amount of points, better than some of the guys in front of them. Yeah, but I got a four pack to crack open here on the F tier, and it's the two Collin cars and it's the two legacy cars. We were just talking about this before the show, that these guys just have not run well enough. They're too low in the Chevy pecking order, which is why it's good news that Legacy is moving to Toyota next year. They'll get better equipment probably. There'll be more priority. It'll be unique for Toyota to have cars outside of that Joe Gibbs wormhole next year. I made a prediction. I mean, we'll come back to this if we remember it at the beginning of next year, that in Toyota, one of these legacy cars is going to wax the field in one of the first 10 races of the year, because they'll be on something that Gibbs isn't, that has Toyota run well. But for this season, all four of these guys are good drivers. All four of these guys have or could win in the Cup Series. All four of these guys are completely off my board for this week.
Okay. Yeah.
Throw Mike Mack up into the driver D. I agree with him. Yeah. Mike Mack here, I think, was it like 15-something average finish or somewhere around there? I can totally see Michael McDowell. I think he does better at your – you know how Kansas has a few more lanes than like Las Vegas and whatever? And I think that suits him better.
I agree. He's a creative driver who uses a lot of different lanes to his advantage. So I like that call out there, Rory. We got to throw Eric Almirola here. Almost has a 25% top 10 rate. Like, it's not good. And I'm not going to be playing Eric Almirola. Oh, do you want to go F?
I'm thinking F. I'm looking at the average points here. He's priced at 6,700. In terms of the average points, Almirola's got 18.6.
Would you really rather have Eric Almirola over Austin Dillon? I know Dillon's been kind of crappy.
Yeah,
but you throw Dillon at a place like this with a little bit higher tire wear, and that's where he more so excels at. I would take him in a matchup against Almirola.
Okay. All right. So driver F for Austin Dillon?
Yeah, I would. What's his price?
Austin
6,900. Just above Almirola at 6,700.
Oh, I like that price.
It's not awful.
We'll go D.
Yeah, we'll put him in D.
Elliot, give us the rundown on the rest of the shit stirs, please.
What I was saying about Almirola is Harrison Burton's averaging better points than him in DraftKings, and Almirola's like 1,000 points more. Like, there's no point. Yeah. There's no point with him anymore. So Harrison Burton, he's been off the board still.
Harrison Burton would not be in a cup car if it wasn't for his dad being Jeff Burton.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's that and the fact that he's got some sponsorship money to throw in there with the Dex Imaging.
He's horrible. He needs to go back to the Truck Series, or no,
go back to ARCA.
Xfinity. He sucked in the Truck Series, and that's how these cars kind of drive. But he was a pretty decent Xfinity Series driver. But he was also in the best of the best, top-notch equipment.
He was rushed to the Cup Series, too. This is an interesting car to watch in the future. We've talked a bit about future moves. An interesting car to watch in the future for the next Xfinity guy who's got money to come up here and take over 21 at some point. Right now, it's just not viable. The normal group of 4 shitters we got here, Brendan Poole's in the 15, Yaley's in the 51, Josh Bilicki's in the 78, and then good old Ty Dillon in the 77. These are guys, again, if you've watched the show at this point, we have the same opinion on these guys every week. But by God, we still talk about them every week. One of the only shows, if not the only show, that talks about every damn driver.
Only way you're playing those bottom 5 right there is at a super speedway.
Yeah, I think
every once in a while you get those
miracles.
Maybe Burton, because he randomly at road courses and at a short track or something here and there, something around that nature, maybe, possibly just to be off the wall, but. Yeah, right.
I've ran Yaley out a couple times. I'm not gonna lie.
Ain't that a damn disgrace of how bad he's made the 21? I mean, shit. Like even Matt DiBenedetto, he's a decent driver. I'm not, thinking like some people were thinking about Matty D.
Yeah, if Matt D was good, he wouldn't be in a crappy truck right now. But he has run better in this 21 car.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And then, you throw in what Blaney used to do in this 21
That's their most recent win, 2017 at Pocono with Blaney. Yep.
So, I don't know. They've got to be having something coming up here before long, I would imagine. That your name can only carry you so far if you run like dog shit every week.
Right. Absolutely.
The next Ford guy with money, this is the perfect ride.
I mean, unless your daddy's the owner.
Right.
Something of that nature. Grandpa like Dillon. I think Dillon is decent. He can win a race like randomly. He is a 2-time Xfinity Series champion. So that is more than Harrison Burton can say on his resume. I mean, Dillon has some big wins. But I feel like also Austin Dillon is getting at that age where he's a family man. He's just like riding a lot of times, unless it's a rocket.
Yeah, Austin Dillon has proven he's worthy of a cup ride. As for his brother Ty, I don't see why he's still up.
Yes.
Oh, Ty!
All right, I'm cutting off the conversation.
Kyle Larson could beat Ty Dillon in reverse.
Especially in that Spire 77. But all right, Seth, let's get more specific here. Let's get into the Parky Garage props for the week.
Yes, absolutely. I do want to shout out everyone watching. A lot of new faces, it looks like, in the chat and in the stream tonight. So I want to thank you guys. If you are new to the channel, back, hang out with us again sometime. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up on this video if you enjoy this type of content. But yeah, let's get past the NASCAR politics and the DFS. Let's get into the best bets of the weekend with the parking garage props.
Always nice to hear our favorite little tune of the week there on the parking garage props.
Yes, sir.
Seth, in our notes here, of course, we list out a show sheet and we talk about what we want to talk about, list some of our favorite bets. I've got some of my props for later. Your first sentence in here, Seth, is "fuck the books."
Yeah, so listen, I had a really love-hate relationship with the books this week because I come out and we come off a huge week here at Dover. I felt very favorable odds last week, and that wasn't the case this week. So I said, fuck the books. I put other words that I'm not going to say on the stream.
Right, I left those
yeah,
out too,
yeah, but once I dug in a little bit deeper, once I got past all the bullshit top 10 markets out there and all the bullshit outrights, I kind of liked the books a little bit. So I wasn't terribly upset, but at first I was very, fuck the books. But I'm okay now. We're chilling. So, yeah.
It wasn't. I seen a lot of stuff that I actually like, but I will say some of it I kind of was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? Like,
when Bubba Wallace is minus 200 for a top 10, that just pisses me off right there, to be honest.
I mean, I think more so, I think they know he's going to would be a heavy play in the 20s up to, 25.
Right.
Or 20. He did open at 20. He didn't last long. But you have to be considering when you're making these lines and stuff, you also have to pay attention to like how much money's going to come in on this. I mean,
right.
Everybody knowing how Bubba was at Kansas last year, that they're going to be jumping to it. And do I think it's the right call? No, not really. I honestly don't. I'd have to see him live, and I would even take a chance on getting him at a little bit less of a number than he is now. I mean, what the hell are we talking about? 14-10 or something if he's actually coming through the field, passing people. All right, yeah, we're going to jump on him now. But am I going to jump on Bubba Wallace at 14 pre-race? Hell no.
Hell no.
Maybe Daytona or Talladega if I'm feeling frisky, but not here.
So let's go ahead and talk about some people we will jump on the outright, and I'm going to get right into it here. Ty Gibbs, 40-1 on Barstool is what I'm getting him at. I'm also getting him plus 150. And this week, I wanted to get a little weird with it. And like, this is the track to get weird with it. Did anyone see Kurt Busch winning this race last year? No. Did anyone see Bubba winning this race? Hell no. And that's what we've seen. We already talked about it. 75% of the top 6 racers at this track last season were Toyota. So I'm high on them. I've seen top 10 average speed at Dover from Ty Gibbs, top 20 at Las Vegas and Auto Club, and he showed me a lot last week. I know he had to kind of back out of the gas and end up with I think, the 13th place finish, but he was a top 5 car. If not, Denny is very lucky that happened. So I really like what we've seen out of him. He has that Xfinity win here, and he also has a 3rd place Xfinity place in his other Xfinity race. So I'm in on Ty Gibbs, 6 top 20s in a row outside of Dega. So I'm in on Ty Gibbs at 40-1, boys. Mark me down. I'll also take the top 10 here. Rory, over to you with anyone else in this outright market you are targeting.
Outright market. I got a little KFB. I have a little Larson. I'm really liking after I heard Mark and Wormy talking about Chase Elliott at 14. I think this could be the week.
It's a value. But it's tough. He hasn't ran great the last couple of weeks, I feel like.
I think I have this feeling that Chase Elliott is going to be really good this weekend here. He loves Kansas. He's pretty damn good here.
Yeah, he's won here. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago. He got a win.
He won here the year he won the championship in the fall race.
Okay, that might be.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, I'll throw out my other outright then. I'm going to go back to the well here. It's been a couple weeks since we've done it. So pinch me, I'm dreaming. Back to the board with Christopher Bell plus 800. I don't love the number, but he's someone I'm trying to beat the books on this, and I think that's going to shrink a little bit. I think that's going to shrink a bit because he's a good qualifier, one of the best in the Cup Series. Also, I can get him for a +5 or a +150 for a top 5. I will take that as well. 6 starts here, 4 top 10s. A top 5 finish, and top 5 total speed ranking via iFantasy Race at Kansas, both of them last season. Top 6 speed at Dover, 7th at Las Vegas as well. So I know Las Vegas and Dover and Auto Club aren't perfect comp tracks, but they are 1.5 miles, and they will be running similar packages. So that's why I'm putting them into my metrics here. So when I rated all of it out, Christopher Bell was at the very top for me this week. So I'm going to roll some C Bell here at plus 800. Not a full unit, but probably about a half a unit for me on that. Rory, let's go to placement, props, anything in the top 3, top 5, top 10s that you like.
I was trying to look earlier if I had something different. I mean, I put out Kyle Larson last night, and I still put him out here. Plus,
top 5?
Yeah, I'm pretty. If it hasn't changed, I'm looking right now on Bet Rivers. They had the best price. It was like plus. Is it at least?
It's mine. I got -110 on Barstool, so completely juiced there.
Oh,
that's crazy. That's the worst top 10 or top 5 I've seen all year.
No, I put it out last night at plus 105.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So
great.
All right. Well, let me pull up something else then.
No, I like the Kyle Larson. I was just saying I hate the price on Barstool. Like that's bullshit for.
That's where I played it at the best number that I seen was plus 105 last night.
I would ride a plus 105 on that. I would, it's not terrible. I feel like you'd do a lot worse. So I will ride.
I can tell you right now, back-to-back 30th place finishes.
Oh yeah.
He is going to be top 5 speed. And I don't see the shit that he's been getting caught up in unless Bubba Wallace takes him out on the front stretch. I don't think that any way, shape, or form Kyle Larson is finishing top 5 this week. I'm hammering it. I hammered it.
All right. Well, how do you feel about hammering this one here, Elliot? I got a Harvick plus 10 or even money right now for a top 10 at Barstool. Top 10 speeds at our other intermediates, Las Vegas Auto Club. Best average finish here in the Cup Series, though, 9.9, 56% top 10 rate. How do you feel about the number 4 car? Apparently in a little bit of a Busch Light corn can car this week.
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the year, I used the moniker Mr. Consistency to describe Bowman when he was on that big top 10 run. That applies to Harvick now, Mr. Consistency. I mean, obviously, he's the veteran guy. He's run well at all these tracks. He's kept Stewart-Haas Racing afloat. At even money, it's a good pickup because he's probably going to finish top 10, and that'll open your book up to take a little more risks if you get that nice even money that you're pretty sure you're going to get with Harvick to finish in that top 10. And how can you not get a good finish in that For the Farmers corn car? That thing's going to look great running in that top 10, breaking you even on your units, and hopefully making up for that Ty Gibbs L you might just take.
Hey, no, we're hammering it, buddy. We're hammering it. Rory, back to you. Anything else in the placement prop market, or do you want to go to head-to-heads, groups, or specials?
I'm getting ready to look. Apparently, there was it was an update on Bet Rivers. I guess I could have just pulled Barstool up. I don't know if they had one too. I hadn't looked today. I've been busy. Let's see. I seen something over there. I think it caught my eye last night, and I had to look at it again.
Yeah, we can start into some matchups, Seth, if you want, and then Rory, you can hop in when you find that bet. Some of the matchups I saw, I like picking them out. I like Caesars and Barstool, some of these basic books. Again, we know Hendrick is going to be good. I got Byron plus 110 over Larson, who's at minus 140.
Can't do it.
He's not quite. That's understandable. This one is even rougher if you're not into that one. But if you're high on the Fords this week and you think Kyle Busch is not going to be quite so hot, KFB is -160 against Joey Logano +130. That's a
Can't-
tough one too, with how good we expect Kyle Busch to run. Some better matchups over at Barstool. Corey LaJoy +144 over Allmendinger, who's at -180.
Okay,
is intriguing.
that's interesting. That's
And
interesting.
If you think that Bubba is going to be the better of the 2311 cars, he's at +141 over Reddick, who's at -186 in that matchup. That's tougher. But if you think the 23 is going to outrun the 45, then that would be one to pick up.
Elliot, I am a little disappointed that you didn't throw out the Ty Gibbs versus Suarez, because I think this is an absolute lock. I've already bet this. I know you can get it about even money or a little less than even money over on Caesars. DraftKings, you're getting it at even money for Ty Gibbs. 23rd average finish for Suarez over the last 8 races. That is the last 8 races. Dude has just been not on his game lately. Some of it's been wrecks, some of it's been mechanical, but some of it's just been him not putting himself in a position to succeed. I don't think Suarez turns it around this week, so I like Ty Gibbs there, no doubt about it. Rory, anything in any of these prop markets that you're liking?
Yeah. Gosh, I like this, but I was just talking about it earlier, but I really think Penske's going to be shit.
I don't want anything to do with Penske this week.
Bubba Wallace -115 is worth maybe a unit play over Ryan Blaney at -115.
My
That's
goodness.
a tough one.
I mean, it's the matter of trusting Bubba to not do anything stupid. I don't think you play him in a matchup. I'm trying to pull something new up that maybe I haven't seen that I overlooked. And
well, hey, remember we let off by saying fuck the book. So if there's not any really good juicy stuff left here, I don't blame you.
So,
I mean, we threw out some matchups last night that the prices ain't even close, and I'm not going to put them out there. I got one right here. I mean, it got put out last night, but I'll play it again because I absolutely love this. Josh Berry -120 over Chase Briscoe. He's going to kick the shit out of him.
I'm in. Where are you getting that, Roy? Is that Bet Rivers?
DK.
Really? Oh.
Yeah.
DraftKings came to play this week. They also have Cindric over Eric Jones, which I like a little bit as well.
Wow, that's a great bet.
I definitely.
Even if we're not high on Penske, we're sure shit not high on Legacy.
I mean, what? Austin Cindric's got to finish in the top 20.
Eric Jones last year, just for reference, average finish at Kansas, 30.5. Like, dude's biding his time before he's in a Toyota.
Was this the one that the wheel got stuck on it when he was actually running decent, though?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
but I don't expect the same thing.
One of those races, yes.
That had an asterisk.
Yes, one of those did, for sure. So, go ahead, Elliot.
The other one being I didn't know if I froze there for a minute. The other one being a playoff race, you can almost throw an asterisk on that one too. So that's tough.
Yeah. I do like Cindric, so I will take him at -110 there. My final bet of the night, it's a little Seth special. I like these ones where you can root for multiple drivers to win this son of a bitch. And I'm going with winning car number 30+ at +450 on Caesar Sportsbooks. And last week we kind of ran a similar one, but it was only Chase, Truex, and Blaney. This week for the 30+, you get Gibbs. I've already talked about Gibbs tonight. You get Tyler Reddick. You get Josh Berry. You get Stenhouse. You get Briscoe. And those were just a couple of them. But, like, really the ones
I think you're thinking of Priest there, Seth, 30+, right?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My apologies. But it's Gibbs, Reddick, Berry, and Stenhouse is what you're betting here. Yeah. And I think at +450, like I said, I already love Ty Gibbs this week on the outright. And I won a little piece of Tyler Reddick as well, being in a Toyota now. So this kind of gives me the best of both worlds with this bet. And then Josh Berry, we just talked about, we love Josh Berry this week. So this is what I'm getting here. 30+, plus 450. It's a little weird. It's a little wonky, but I'm going to hit that little bit of a moonshot here. Rory, back to you. Any thoughts on this bet or anything else you have for the good of the order before we let the people go on this fine Thursday evening?
Would you be better off playing all those outright? The ones that you just named? That's my only
That's fair.
thing.
Yeah, that's why it's one of those where it's like, sure, Gibbs, you can play the outright. Reddick, you probably can.
I
Bailey,
hate to
maybe.
lose.
I don't know
I
that
hate
you're playing
to
the
lose.
outright on Stenhouse or Priest.
That's
They're long. If by
They're
the
long,
time,
but they're not going to win. So what's the point?
well, you're playing them in that over 30, and you named all 4 or 5 drivers right there, and they're all pretty long except Tyler Reddick. So if you play all of them on outright, you'll have a whole lot less money to win $500 than putting $100.
yeah.
Fair point.
You make a great point. I think the way I approach it sometimes as a gambler is I hate to lose. And this is one I feel like I have a lot of outs where I can win. So that's the reason I kind of like some of these wonkier bets.
Okay.
But I totally understand, like you said, there is the other rationale of putting just a little bit of something on these other guys, the Barrys, the Gibbs of the world, the Stenhouses. So what else do you have for us here, Rory, before we close it out? It can be anything you've said already this week as well. We don't mind.
I think that's where I'm going. I want to see what y'all think about it. But holy crap, how did I overlook this last night?
Oh, sounds like we had a juicy one here.
Ty Gibbs minus 120 over Chase Briscoe on Betfred.
That's
Ty
not bad.
Gibbs minus
120.
Yeah, I'm in.
Hammer the shit out of that.
Yes, Betfred. That's one of those not available in all states, but we got it here in PA. I think they're in Ohio, Colorado, of course, where you are as well, Rory. Elliot, I know you have a couple, maybe another one or two weird ones that you just want to throw out.
I'll bring up one more. We were just talking about Barry, and we're high on 23-11. Caesars has got a special one, both the 23 and the 48 finishing in the top 10 at plus 420.
I am intrigued. I almost think I want to see a little bit of qualifying and practice before I would put something on that to see where Bubba is. But I do like the number. I mean, hashtag 420, blaze it, anytime you can get those odds on something, I'm about it.
Yeah, I do like that one, Seth.
Absolutely, man. Rory, we can't thank you enough for being here with us tonight, man. We want to thank all the IBT family as well for riding along with us. Everyone you're bringing over from the Layin Coin family as well. Rory, how can we best support you moving forward for the rest of the 2023 NASCAR season, my friend?
Everyone can best support me watching Layin Coin or listening to the Layin Coin pod. And now you can watch the NASCAR Gambling Preview Show. I think it should be, thought it was supposed to be out today. I hadn't checked to see if it is posted, but over there, then you can follow me at Twitter at RoryPicks, Instagram at RoryPicks69, TikTok at RoryPicks. I don't think it's nothing with that one. And I don't know. It's hard to keep up with all that shit,
Just search Rory Picks. They'll find right at the end. It'll pop up.
Yeah,
Yes,
they'll
sir.
find it. I'm probably going to put up my first video this weekend, giving out some plays. I put up the Kyle Larson doing the burnout all the way around Martinsville. That was my first official video over there. So
Okay.
we're going to throw some plays out for this week. I like Kansas. I think we're going to have a good weekend.
All right. Appealing to the youth. We love it, Rory, so much, man. We appreciate you, everything you do.
I got to do something to get these damn ratings up, because NASCAR is not doing a very good job of grabbing that 2018 to whatever the hell age group they're trying to get. They ain't cutting it. But, I mean, they could also do a little bit better of putting a little bit better product out there on the track. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this car, except on short tracks, but we need horsepower. I mean, how in the hell can you call yourself a Premier Series with, 650 and 550?
Right.
What the hell are we doing here? I mean, all the other series are 700 and up.
Yeah, hey.
And we're in a heavier car.
Totally, bro. We're gonna giddy up on out of here. Elliot, bring us home, man. Appreciate you always directing this crazy ship we got here down the back road.
No doubt about it. Thanks for rolling down the back road with us for another week. Best of luck with your Kansas bets. We'll see you back here, same time, same place next Thursday.